This is taken about 7 yards deep.
Come on, let's go. At their own 25-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
Yes, sir.
And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. And he'll be upended here after a pickup of 3, getting it out to the 25. Not the start to the drive they were looking for. That run doesn't do much at all.
No, not at all, and it leaves them with 3rd and long. And, you know, this is the time of game where these drives really, really start to matter. They've got to make some moves.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Go 14.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by DeMonte Kazin. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost like they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get it.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Cameron Jordan in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Well, partner, we know they came out of the locker room down on the scoreboard, but I will guarantee you the defensive side of the ball got super emotional. They can come out and play with aggressiveness, with fury, because they don't have to be quite as precise, and it paid off for them on that play, didn't it?
Sure did. Excellent play, really setting the tone for this 3rd quarter. To try again after the sack. Brissett into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked by Tarvarius Moore. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, he needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that get our attention and reverberate for weeks to come.
Second and 5 now. Wilson complete. It's Johnson. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense, exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the shotgun, Wilson. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. That'll put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a first down. Back in the first quarter, you said it. They need to avoid the big play, but he just got a big one right there.
You can't relax. You know, we talked about in the first quarter, but as the game progresses, still opportunities, and he took advantage of one there.
And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12. Throwing again here, Wilson. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
To throw on 3rd down. Wilson steps away to his left. Now he'll square up and throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off near the 29.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
You got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. So 1 play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Hey, we got 4. We got 4 down.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Brissett. He's going to float this one deep right side. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Vikings. DJ Chark, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, being on the second half, no matter what. Well, those first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves
walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, you know, when we're having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and then finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards. Now a 10th carry for Johnson. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Now it's Wilson. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Jerry Hughes in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14.
I got you. Check 99.
From midfield now, here's Wilson. Flushed out right. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Sione Takitaki picks up his second sack of the afternoon. First and second down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big. Here's Wilson. Screen play, Johnson. The screen good for 6, but it's not enough as it leads to a 4th down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And able to catch it, but he's out of bounds. And the throw took him beyond the sideline, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator.
Now Jones is hit. He lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Hey. 4 down.
Off the play fake. Here's Brissett. And he's got his man on the out route. 4 yards the pickup. 1st down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cameron Jordan, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Here's Brissett. He sets up the screen to Jones. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
On 3rd down, Brissett. Eluding the pressure right. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Out of bounds as he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to give a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say, maybe makes that offense feel good. And now here's another interception. Picked picked off at the 30. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Wilson. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Here's Wilson. Flush to his right. He may try and run. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. And it's a terrific return here as he's going to have them set up with a 1st and goal right at about the 6-yard line. The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense cash in? 1st and goal. Now Jones. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Ronald Jones with his 14th touchdown of the year, 2nd of the game. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. PAT up and good by Rosas. And the lead will swell by 1 more. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Let's go.
The first down carry here for Johnson. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And he's going to get this into enemy territory at the 45. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. Past the 20. 38 yards on the scamper there.
Hey, we haven't been around the entire time football's been played, but we have studied our history, and there have been some great backs who've been accused of running out of bounds to protect themselves. Well, back in the day, many people didn't like that, but nowadays...
And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. That, of course, all set up by the big run on the play prior. They took advantage right away with the touchdown throw.
And you mentioned advantage, probably taking advantage of their natural instinct after that previous play to be aggressive and rush towards the line of scrimmage. And instead, they were vulnerable to the pass.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They had the double-digit lead at halftime, and they have continued to roll. They're hard to stop right now.
I think what we're seeing is an example of a team that has it figured out in this ball game. And whatever the adjustments are the defense has made, hasn't slowed them, hasn't phased them at all. They either anticipated them or they've been so far ahead that they just can't catch up.
Now it's just a search to add to the lead. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And no, it doesn't.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. It's going the other way. Taking it right down Broadway. And it's a defensive return for a late touchdown. So they still need somewhat of a miracle here, but at least that gets them a little bit closer. The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for two. He gets this one to Johnson. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick. Oh, did the kicking team get it? Yes. The onside kick works like a charm. Great job by the kick team there to get the football, but also don't forget about the man that started it, the lonesome kicker himself.
I love that you brought him into it because he doesn't get nearly the attention he deserves. Oftentimes it's only when it's negative. In this case, he created a positive play for his team.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Watch the whip. Mike one. Go.
To throw is Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Michael Kendricks coming in to drop him.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Wilson. Flushed out right. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. And this will be taken at the 13. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And checking the timeouts, they do have 2 defensively, but no real need to use them as they're not going to be able to stop the clock after that. That one looks like he'll throw here. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Cameron Jordan. Make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Here's Jones. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark.